Okay, team, if you are a business owner who can build companies, manage teams, handle pressure, but it's come at the cost of your body, your headspace, and energy, this is for you. In just the next 15 minutes, I'll introduce you to the three main pillars that are proven to create the control and consistency men need so their body matches their business standards, leaving them feeling and looking the best they have in years, without eating rabbit food, injecting yourself with hormones or peptides, or taking the time away from your family or business. Welcome. If you're new to my world, I'm sharing what's working in 2026 in the hopes that it is valuable to you. My name is Matthew Kenton. I've been an educator, coordinator, and coach in some form for the last 19 years. I moved from England to the US by myself at 18, and I work with men all over Europe and the US. Look, at the end of this video, I will share with you how we can work together. However, if that is not for you, no hard feelings. Hopefully you take something away. Firstly, let me start with who this is for and who this is not for. This is not for college kids training 6 times a week, 90 minutes at a time. I love you. Make hay whilst the sun is shining. This is not for you. This is not for men who pass blame and excuses. And this is not for men who are okay saying one thing and then doing another. This is for men who are committed and they understand that following the process will deliver the desired outcome. This is for men that want to get the best out of themselves in all assets of their life. And it's for leaders, men who want to set the example for themselves and others. I was lost. Okay. I let myself slip. Increased responsibilities at work, injuries, and the ups and downs of living life had swallowed me. In my early 20s, I had so much time to be active. I lived a stone's throw from the college gym, and obviously I could eat whatever I wanted. I was never Mr. Olympia, but I was always in decent shape. I was never shy to take my top off in a changing room. But fast forward a decade plus, and things were starting to look completely different. And it was only going one way. To say that I was starting to feel embarrassed was a bit of an understatement. Imagine this, right? You get out of the shower, you dry off, I stick my boxers on, and I catch myself in the mirror as I'm sitting on the edge of my bed, belly's hanging all the way over the waistband, turn around, and my love handles are just flopping out over the back. I'd gone soft. I'd been caving into that voice that's, is telling me, oh, it's okay, you can get it back easily. No one really cares if you're fat or not. And I was eating fast food 2-3 times a week, especially when I traveled for work, and that had taken its toll. I looked lazy, I felt worse. And yeah, I kept taking the easy option. I know how these marketing companies work, right? They've got unlimited budgets and they're pulling on our biological triggers to make us eat their shite. But that's just not who I am. Okay. I had to sort it out. I had to get back in control of myself. And if I couldn't manage my body through my 30s and late 20s, then by my 40s and 50s, I'm sure it would be beyond miserable. I tried vegan, way too restrictive. I didn't have the skills to cook like the people on Instagram. And honestly, I got weaker and fatter. I look like this little slug that has made its way into the cabbage patch. And I tried no carbs as well. That was horrendous. Like pastries are my favorite foods. Life without them, not worth it. Not worth it at all. I needed a system that was rigid enough to take out any guesswork, but still allow me to enjoy my favorite foods. And then there was the training, right? I'm battle worn from collegiate soccer. My knees definitely weren't what they used to. And I certainly, as I mentioned earlier, did not have the time to be in the gym 6 times a week, 90-minute sessions. It just wasn't feasible. I was trying to work out like I used to. And because I couldn't fit the whole thing in, I would just skip. I'll be like, what's the point of going if I can't do the whole thing? With that mentality, that all or nothing mentality, I couldn't keep any consistency. And I was making excuses for why I couldn't get it done. And that was holding me back. I knew that I need to lift weights. Obviously, I want to look and feel strong as a man should. But realistically, I only had 30, 45-minute windows to really make the most of each day. And look, in all reality, the poor diet, the crap workouts, they weren't the main issue. Okay, they were symptoms. And the cause of how I was feeling was the fact that I couldn't keep promises to myself and do the things I know I needed and I wanted to do. I wasn't totally off the deep end, but I was barely keeping my head above water and definitely nowhere near where I felt I wanted to be, where I should be. Floating around in mediocrity. I was feeling uncomfortable in my clothes. As I mentioned, the love handles, the belly's out. And I didn't feel good. I felt stuck. I felt lost. I felt unsatisfied. And I knew I needed to work out why. For the next 4 years, I went on an absolute quest. I devoured books, podcasts. articles on fitness, habit creation, nutrition, letting go of the past, planning for the future, difficult conversations, asking questions, masculinity, relationships, love, religion, confidence, wealth, leadership, guys, everything. Surrender, meaning, purpose, and most importantly, self-mastery. Reading was great. Obviously, the action is where everything changes. I started to configure how I could feel and perform at my best. And despite the external events of the day, I stuck to what I committed to. And the results came. Eventually, for a few years of reading, action, trial, and error, I refined what had worked for me. I got leaner and stronger, more confident in rooms that I felt I shouldn't have been in. I'd quietened the self-limiting gremlins, and I was starting to attract the type of people into my life that I wanted to be around. I recognized that it wasn't me. I wasn't some superstar chosen one. It was the processes and habits that I had consistently executed. I knew that I wasn't the only man feeling this way. You know, feeling great at one point and then life kind of hits you. And I needed to get the best out of myself again, feeling like I had more in me, appreciating that this is the one life that I'm going to get. I knew I had to help other men free themselves from that empty, that motionless feeling that you can get sucked into. And I failed miserably trying to help on my own. I was like trying to fill up a bottle with a big bucket of water. I was just making a mess, couldn't get anything to stick to others. I knew that I had the tools to make a huge difference, but nothing seemed to be working. And the frustration was really starting to take its toll on me. And then by chance, I was traveling in Russia and I met Tim. He had what I wanted, to be honest. He was a few years ahead of me. And I thought if he could do it, surely it can't be that hard and I can figure it out on my own. I felt maybe I could just Google my way to the answers. This is obviously before ChatGPT. After all, I was successful in other areas of my life. Learning came naturally to me. I had a great work ethic. I just felt that I should be able to figure this stuff out myself. I convinced myself that I didn't want to spend money on something I felt I could do for free. And looking back now, guys, my ego was in the way. I didn't want to ask for help. I was a little bit nervous if I could trust somebody else to get these results that I wanted. And I assumed that everybody else was doing it on their own. Everybody was self-made. After another year, throwing spaghetti at the wall, literally nothing changing, I'm looking at my bank account and I'm realizing that I'm not having the impact that I want, that I know I can, and I've not really got anywhere. The same way you're looking down at the scales, it's the same numbers time after time. You're up, you're down, but you're not really getting anywhere. And I realized that I couldn't do this on my own. So many men that I work with now have said the same thing. They recognize that they wasted so much time by simply not asking for help. Again, doing well in my career. Others, I'm sure, will be perfectly content in my position. But I felt that there was something missing. I felt that I was leaving a little bit on the table. And I know now that I was in a position where getting this solved quickly was worth more than the money to me. So I swallowed my pride and I asked for help. I invested in myself. And these were the two best decisions of my life. One was moving to the USA and the unbelievable opportunities it opened up for me. And two was getting Tim as my personal coach. Once I started working with Tim, the impact was instant. I honestly realized in those first few months that obviously no one is self-made. And the fastest way to the outcomes that you want are together. Having a coach really, it just flipped everything on its head for me. I was held accountable, no more excuses to myself. I felt in control, and the fast results solidified the decision that I'd made. Weekly calls with Tim completely changed my mindset. Having someone that had been there and done it, challenging my thinking in a supportive and non-judgmental way, led me to the answers that I needed. The work that once seemed hard and I was maybe avoiding was now starting to become effortless as my discipline just 10x. Obviously, not everything's absolutely perfect, but when it got difficult, I'd built up so much momentum and had the genuine support that when I missed the mark, it didn't collapse everything. Instead, mistakes were now a chance to reflect, a chance to reiterate, and then go again stronger. With Tim's help, I was able to clearly define and systemize the three pillars that I had put into practice in my own life to be successful so that others could insert them easily into their full lives. And that brings me to the focus of this video. If you are looking to lose 15, 30 pounds in the next 12 weeks, double your energy, look the part, simply just feel unstoppable in your day-to-day without taking away time from your family or business, this is the point where I'd like to invite you into my world. If what I've introduced you is resonating with you, you'd like to know the proven way of getting and staying in control of your health and fitness in 2026, here it is. The example program is made up of 3 pillars. Fitness is the first one. Maximum impact plan is the system that we use to make that happen. Nutrition, we use the flexible deficit method. And habits, by far the most important one, behavior engineering protocol. The maximum impact plan. Look, we've been over your gut's growing, love handles are growing, you're stressed out, energy levels are running on low, but you don't have the time or headspace to get a solution, let alone think about how you're going to sort this. You also know that things are only going one way and getting worse unless you make a decision to make a change. The maximum impact plan selection of workouts built for time poor, high performing men. We insert these into your week and we have you losing weight and building muscle quickly. On our weekly calls, I hold you accountable to completing each workout. And by week 4, you'll feel well on your way to permanent change already without taking focus away from your business. The flexible deficit method for our nutrition. Look, most nutrition plans aren't built for focused type A men. They're overcomplicated and they're time consuming. We put everything into strong, immediate weight loss that happens fast while still maintaining freedom not to cut any food groups out. Carbs aren't off the table. Protein is necessarily high and our calories are reassuringly controlled and measured. Our aim's 2 to 3 pounds per week weight loss over the 12-week system with this sustainable method. The behavior engineering protocol is the most important pillar, and this is where a lot of other programs drop the ball. Average men lose and gain the same 6 pounds each and every year because they never address the underlying behaviors that put them in the shit in the first place. Example men refuse to give an average account of themselves. The behavior engineering protocol creates a depth of transformation that means you simply will not return to your old habits, old ways, and your old self. It's a set of 3 daily actions which are done in a 15-minute window, AM or PM, that rewire your mindset, lock in your new habits, and shift your behaviors. So you can have the long-term health and vitality, and you can be the example for yourself, for your family, and for all those around you. And here's a couple of examples, guys. Look, KB tried for 5 years on his own to lose weight. He couldn't make it happen, couldn't keep it off, lost 25 pounds in 12 weeks, 10x his productivity and his positivity. His employees went from dreading him being around because he's so stressed, so uptight, to wishing he was more available. And the valuation of his business grew 3 times. He said that he'll never go back to his old ways of eating and reacting to stress. Next up, we have Ross. He's a father of 4 boys under the age of 11. He was full-time with his therapy clinic and running as a director of a soccer club. He lost 16 pounds, lost 6% body fat in that time. Think visible abs. Over the holiday period, he created more intentional time with his family, reduced daily stress, and he actually resolved a fatty liver issue that his doctor informed him of after the program. He said that the changes that he made, he knows are sustainable because they were designed to fit his life. Finally, here we have Patrick. As you can see from the pictures, defined 6-pack for the first time in his life, lost 34 pounds in 12 weeks, landed his first professional soccer coaching job at the age of 35, with so much more clarity and conviction on the career path he wants to take, and he grew even closer, taking his relationship to the next level with his girlfriend. He said, the clarity the example program gave me made making the changes second nature. If you've been sitting here relating to what I've said, tired of being tired, and you're ready to take your health and fitness from a weakness to a strength, let's get on a quick free discovery call. On that call, you can expect us to go over exactly what is stopping you from reaching your goals, and then we will clearly define what is a realistic goal for you. It's a zero obligation call, totally free. We'll decipher if you would be a good fit for the example program and what next steps could look like. And regardless of what happens, you will leave that call with some value. How to book that call? All you need to do is click back out of this video, back to the landing page you were on, click on any of the boxes that say book a call and select a time that works for you. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and I hope I hear from you soon. Thank you.